Good morning to you all. Welcome back to the Namaste Experience. It is Friday. We've had a beautiful week. I'm still here in Chicago, as you can see, and the presence, the light, the love, the holiness, the grace is wherever we stand. The holiest place on earth is where you stand, where love has taken hold and conquered every thought of possible evil, possible challenge to love. And this is what we're going to talk about today. That which seems to challenge love, that which seems to challenge the expression of the love and the loveliness of God that is extending every moment. Because as we know, this is a time in which that challenge seems real. It seems truly challenging. We have a choice. We can either look out at the world, at what seems to be happening in the world, and we can close our eyes to it, put our head in the sand, and pretend like it doesn't really happen or does not require some response or some activation. I was going to say action, but I think activation is a better word. Some activation on our part, not to hide from it, but to see through what seems to be happening outside of us in order to see it truly, to see through, to see true. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Because I know for many of us, it's easier to say, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. But what we're really doing is we're bypassing when we do such a thing. We're not really denying. We are denying, but we're not denying the denial, as it would say in A Course in Miracles. We are called to deny the denial. Everything that is happening out here is a projection of our mind, our split mind that is always trying to defend or to conquer. And the only way to undo is ultimately to deny the denial, to deny that this is real, but not in a way that closes our eyes to it, but a way that sees through it, to reality, to love. So if you've been paying attention at all, you know that there have been some very challenging things that have been happening. Just a few hours up the road here in my family's hometown in Minneapolis, a young woman was senselessly shot to death by ICE for no real reason, because she was driving her car away. And there's so much energy in both directions. Some people saying she deserved it, other people saying the opposite. What is our response? It's neither one of those, I can promise you. It's not trying to decide who to point blame at. Once again, it's our role to see through what seems to be happening in the world of illusions to what is always truly happening, which is the extension and the expansion of love. And the more energy I give to that extension and expansion, the more it grows, the more it takes over every other illusion that we could possibly hold. So there are two things that I would like to share in that regard. The first is a little bit of wisdom from Sophia, my dear friend, our dear friend. I asked her right before session what she thought of all this, and she wrote a little something out for me to share. And this is going to be all from the perspective of A Course in Miracles. What would A Course in Miracles say about this? Let me share this, and then I have a parable to share. So first, this is from Sophia. A Course in Miracles never asks us to look away from the world. It asks us to look through it, through the surface story, through the wound, through the illusion of separation, with forgiveness and with love. To look past is to bypass. To look through is to see truly. When you look through with forgiveness, you are not denying what appears. You are denying its power to define reality. That's so important. Let me read that one more time. When you look through whatever seems to be happening, let's say this situation in Minneapolis, when you choose to look through it with forgiveness, then you're not denying what happened. You're denying its power to define reality. You are saying, I see the pain and I see beyond it. I see the fear and I recognize the innocence beneath it. I see the world and I remember love. Only love is what is real. This is why A Course in Miracles calls forgiveness the means by which the world is healed. Not because the world is condemned, but because it has been misunderstood. Forgiveness is not saying this didn't happen. It's saying this is not what or who we are. This is not who we are. And love is the vision that makes that recognition possible. So when A Course in Miracles invites us into miracle-mindedness, it's not an escape. It's a deeper presence. I love that. Miracle-mindedness is not calling us to escape, but to have a deeper presence, a deeper awareness, a deeper vision of what is truly happening. It's a presence that whispers, nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And in that peace, we finally learn how to look, not away from the world, but straight through it, and see God everywhere, in every situation, to see the divine. I think this is a beautiful example of what we are being called to. Once again, not to deny or close our eyes or put our head in the sand, but to look through the lens of love. It's just like glasses. I can have my glasses off and everything in the distance seems blurry and undefined. And if I were to make judgments on what I see that's blurry, I may not see it for what it really is. But as soon as I choose to look through the lens of love, through forgiveness, that which A Course in Miracles draws us to, then I can see it clearly. I can see it truly. I can see it for what it really is. So that being said, I have a little parable I want to share from the mother, that character who has an ashram high in the Himalayan mountains. So I'll invite you just to relax and open and listen to this beautiful story. The ashram was still in the hour before dawn, when even thought seems to rest. A faint mist clung to the mango trees, and the lamps along the path burned low, as if conserving themselves for the coming day. Mother sat on the stone veranda, her back straight, her presence quiet but unmistakable, like a mountain seen through the fog. A woman crossed the courtyard toward her. She had not slept. Her steps were quick but unsure, as though she feared what she already knew. She bowed and then spoke, her voice trembling. Mother, they are attacking our young as they call for peace, and our elders as they call for compassion. What must we do? Mother looked at her for a long moment, not with urgency, but with a depth that seemed to slow the air itself. She gestured for the woman to sit. Together they listened to the sound of the wind moving through the trees. At night, Mother finally said, people forget the sun exists. They judge the world by what they can only see in the dark. The woman clenched her hands and said, but this darkness feels deliberate. It wounds, it divides, it makes cruelty seem reasonable. Mother reached for a clay bowl filled with water and placed it between them. The surface was trembling slightly from the morning breeze. Look, she said to the young woman. The woman did look. The reflections were broken and they were distorted. Then Mother said, when the mind stirs the water, the sky appears shattered. Many believe the sky itself is broken and rush to defend themselves against what is only movement. They fight reflections. So we do nothing? The woman asked. We simply watch while harm is done? Mother shook her head gently. Doing is not the same as reacting. Reaction belongs to fear. True action rises from clarity. She dipped her fingers into the bowl and then stilled her hand. The water grew calm. The sky returned whole and undivided. You are asked to live so consciously anchored in what is eternal that false powers lose their authority over you. When you see hatred, do not agree that it defines reality. When you hear threats, do not consent to fear as truth. You may speak, you may march, you may protect, but let none of it come from the belief that darkness has a life of its own. The woman's breath slowed. And the children, the elders, how do we protect them? By refusing to teach them fear, Mother said. By showing them through your presence that compassion is not weakness and peace is not passivity. When you stand without hatred, you interrupt the spell. When you love without condition, you disarm what seeks opposition. But Mother, the woman said softly, what if they never actually listen to me? Mother smiled, not with sweetness, but with certainty. The sun does not wait for permission to rise. It shines because it is its nature. You're not here to convince shadows. You're here to remember the light and let it be seen. When enough remember, the night loses its grip. The bell then rang for morning prayer, and the birds began their song. Mother closed her eyes. Go now, she said. Be still enough to hear the truth and strong enough to live it. Be still enough to hear the truth and strong enough to live it. This is what we're all called, to be still, but to follow the guidance that we're given to follow. People have often asked me as I have traveled to countries at war or conflict to inspire peace, to ask people to pray, but if it's not real, why are you going? And they're asking the wrong question. It's not, is this real or is it not real? but what is my response to what I'm seeing or what I'm experiencing? Is it to love higher and greater and deeper, or to follow fear with fear? So we're not here to deny. We're not here to close our eyes and run away. We're here to love no matter what. We're here to see through that which has always seen through us. So, with that, I'm going to first turn today to Penny Honey, and she's going to, I don't know what she's going to do. She might speak a little bit to this parable or to this lesson, or she might do a little wrap-up of the whole week, and then we'll bring Vicky in to close us and enter the weekend. So, Penny Honey, take it away.
Well, funny thing is, I don't know what I'm going to do either. All right, so we're just going to make a couple of little adjustments here, apparently. Yeah. So, okay.
Sorry.
We're all right. So, yeah. So I just like to breathe into that parable for a moment. Pay no mind to what you see on your screen. So one of the things that that comes forward for me, James, and that is that I remember when I was in seminary, I had an instructor, Dr. Paul Hesselback, who recently decided there was a better way to express than in this physical form, and he would say, let's remember that love responds and fear reacts. And that's, to me, as we listen to that parable and we are asked to see through, it's seeing through to the truth of who we are. See, in Unity and in New Thought, we teach that we teach affirmations and denials. The denial is not that the event is not happening. The denial is denying that it has any power over the divine nature of who I am. We deny that the fear has power over the love that we know we are. We deny that the acts of unkindness or violence are greater than that of the power of love. That's the denial. These challenges that we are given the opportunity to walk through, these challenges to love. And they could only be challenges to love because we are only love. See? They'll wake us up. They'll give us a little shake, won't they? Yeah. This week we've been moving. This is really powerful in my world. So, thank you for giving me grace. So this week, we've been moving from thinking to loving, from guilt to innocence, from knowing to unknowing, from effort to ease, as Vicky reminds us. We've been spiraling upward as we talked about that ascending spiral of knowledge. And for me, this is the prayer that came this morning. May we think less. May we love more. May we release guilt. And may we embrace innocence. And may we unknow everything we thought we knew about God. And may we trust the spiral, the gentle rising movement of love, remembering itself through us. May we do that. May we embrace humankind from this place, where we no longer have to react, but we respond. Love is action. Love is knowing. Love is who we are. See? And in the challenges that present and stand in front of love, we deny their power. We remember the divine. We remember the oneness. We extend that love, that forgiveness, and that embrace to all in the midst of those things that are so difficult at times to wrap our hearts around. We deny that it is greater than love. We remember that there are no degrees to miracles, and if but one life gets touched in the presence of what appears to be and feels like a tragic event, love has done its job, and it will extend and expand into the expression of who we are. May we think less. May we love more. May we release guilt. May we embrace innocence. May we unknow everything we thought we knew about God. And may we trust the spiral, the gentle rising movement of love, remembering itself through us. Thank you.
Vicky, why don't you take it from here and take us home? Good morning to you, you and
Good
Elaine.
morning. Morning, Brother James. Good
Morning.
morning, Penny. Good morning, everybody. And thanks for such a sensitive, touching morning, because what it has done for me, Penny and Jimmy, you've opened my heart. And it's that experience of our heart opening into what we are as peace, as that natural presence that only still wants to love in the face of everything. That we can interrupt the spell of fear. That was a good line, Brother James. We're here to be that interruption for what has been an ongoing display of fear and self-hatred, really, and to move from projecting all of that into a present moment of now, of just remembering we're here to love. And it may not even be in the words both of you spoke, but it certainly was in the communication that was given in your presence, in your heart, that you engaged all of us. I think I speak for all of us, that we fell into natural love. And when there is ever an upset that is personal or collective, for me, it's as if a trumpet sounds and I feel like, oh, I'm called to active duty. I'm being called right now to active duty. Pay attention, sit upright. Don't be reacting. Don't be fixing. Pay attention. And it's the attention is pay attention to love and let love be the guide. Let love be the reason. Let love be. And until that comes into us, we're no help. I'm no help, because all I do is enter the fear and keep the energy low. When we enter into love, literally, we ascend. We ascend energetically, and we come into a frequency that it's like seeing less of the fear until we see only the love, because we are that and we fall into being it. And then what happens, we can trust the prompt, the impulse, whether it's to make a call or write a letter to someone or to go and join a movement or whatever it might be, because it's not a reaction against, it's a response for, a response with, it's a response to join, to heal and to give and to love. And that's what healing and awakening is. This is, and the Course calls it, or not just the Course, the second coming of the Christ in our mind, in our heart, and here even in our bodies, to be the full integration of that. And the Christ is nothing but love. But it's always now. It's not later or yesterday. It's now. And hopefully every day we do that. We enter into a state of peace together, into a state of remembering together, into a state of childlike simplicity, that love is our reality and that we can trust it. And when we're in those lower frequencies, that's the spell. And together we let ourselves raise and we end up in this higher frequency of peace without any effort. And that I thank you all for that, because it's a joined will, a joined purpose that we share, that in that we arise naturally. So I thank you, Penny. I thank you, Jimmy. I thank every one of you, all the little boxes of love that light up every morning. You light up my heart every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. I love those boxes of love. It's true. We look out and we see all these beautiful faces responding with love and grace. And what you shared, Vicky, reminds me of something that Mother Teresa once said when she was asked why she never participated in any of the anti-war demonstrations during the Vietnam era. And she said, "I'll never be part of an anti-war demonstration. But as soon as you have a pro-love march or a pro-peace march, I'll be there." And that may seem like a subtle difference, but it's a huge difference. What am I for? It's not about what I'm against. We spend so much time focusing on what we're against that it's the energy of opposition that takes over. So do whatever you're guided to do, but whatever it is, let it be not a reaction, but an extension of that love that you feel. I love what you said, Vicky, about interrupting the spell with love. Whatever the spell is, and there's a big spell going on right now. Who's right, who's wrong, who did something good, who did something bad. That's all the spell trying to divide. We're here only for love. Only love, only God, only now. And to that we say, Amen, 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 y punto, period. Have a beautiful day. We love you all, and we'll see you on Monday. Namaste.